Hey YouTube, how you doing? Destroyer here, bringing you another video of Heroes of Order and Chaos. Today I wanted to go over the shop in detail to be my third episode of the beginner's guide. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, because I know some new players are kind of confused how the shop works and such things like that. So I'm going to go over what's in the shop, the effects of different weapons and stuff, and what hero or what items would be best for each hero. So that's going to help you a lot if you don't know exactly about the shop. So first, let's jump in. This is, I'm playing Alahera or Elf. The archer. So everybody's particular with this. Now, Gameloft has gave us a good set, not the best set of items. I wouldn't say this is the best set, but this is called the recommended item set that Gameloft just gave for us, which for archer is pretty good. I wouldn't say it's the best, of course, but this means that if you're going through the game, this would typically be good for a new person because they're not used to the shop. So if you're new, you kind of stick to this and wait till you get more advanced to build on your own, or just follow my guides. This will, my guides will kind of help you understand as well. So I'm gonna, the boots. This is the second section, and boots obviously will make you run faster, and this is good more to evade your enemies and kind of move back and forth and make them think you're going one way, and so you can pull them in or drag them out as the hero. The next one is consumables, and this is like healing pods, potions. After you use them, they go away. Wards is what we call, is kind of a lingo we use. But the Staff of Ingus, these last for usually about 3 minutes, and they provide sight into the cloud of darkness. So now this is like physical attack. Most of these items are for your physical attack carries, and they do attack and plus some other abilities like attack speed. Now if you go down through here, you have attack speed, you have harvest HP, which we'll get to that in a second, and crit, which we'll get to that later too. The next section is magical damage, and this is mainly for your mages. You're not going to have a attack hero that does magical damage. It just doesn't happen. Also in here you have max MP, which is mana power, and mana regen and leech. Also you have defense, which this is more for every hero, because every hero you kind of want a little defensive. And this is more like magic defense, attack defense, max HP, and also health regen, HP regen. So I don't know if you've looked through the shop before, but you will notice that some of the items are in many places, because the items have different attributes. that can be defensive items as well as attack items, or magic items as well as mana items. But the first thing I want to go over is the consumables section. Excuse me. Now the consumables, are great, I would say, for early games. So like a healing spice is only worth 50. You can build this in the beginning, and it also generates 20 HP over 20 seconds. Now what that means is each second will give you 20 HP or 10 HP. Over that 20 seconds it will add up to 200, and then that healing spice will disappear. As well as you can look the rest of these. This one's for mana over 20 seconds. This one's called the speed scroll. It'll help you just scroll through these. Also, I want to point out this one, Farseer's Cloth. This helps see invisible units for 4 minutes. I know a bunch of new people don't use this or don't even know about it. It'll help see chameleons ulti, archers ulti, stuff like that. I want you to, read through these and make sure. The next thing I want to go over is how to build items, okay? Because it's different. It's not a level system. So let's say the recommended for archer is these savage boots here. So the savage boots are also here, but if you notice, it does 12% attack speed as well as 8% harvest HP. So in the beginning of each game, you'll have 1,000 coins to use, right? And you can use 2 different items to build into the savage boots. You can use the boots of haste, which are these right here, which they only cost 300. And you can also use these, which are called the gloves of acceleration. It gives us plus 10 attack speed. So you can add those. Now if you noticed, as I bought both of those items that were 750, now the savage boots are 750 instead of 1500. So instead of saving up for 1500 coin throughout the match, you can buy these items and upgrade it into the savage boots. So, and then both of those items become one, so it don't take up all your space. Now that's how to build items. Every item comes different. So like to build the Night Blade, it'll have 2 different items. And you notice some of the bigger items, such as the longbow, will use more items, or it'll get more complex, multiple items, because these do a lot more, like physical damage, attack. You see it has a lot more abilities to it. Also, I want to go over the item attributes since we're talking about this real quick. So first you would have attack speed, and we'll go to the attack speed section. This increases your attack speed. So if I'm elf, he shoots arrows real slow in the beginning. Now if I buy gloves or buy fury blade, this is going to increase my attack speed, the percentage it says on the item. So I'll have a quicker attack speed to kill my enemies in the short amount of time before he or she runs away. The next one I want to talk about is critical damage. Now this is 8% critical damage with this item here. And critical damage, what it is you have a certain percentage that where you shoot your arrows, you could hit the target about 10 times and you'll see a big red number pop up, and it'll usually be a bigger number, right? That's the critical damage number. So, and this increases that critical damage. So it could be 50% as your base critical damage, and this would increase at 8%. So instead of doing 50 extra damage with a critical hit out of 100, you would do a 58 critical damage out of 100. So it would be a total of 158 critical damage. The next one I want to go over is Harvest. And Harvest is only for attack carries or a physical tank, a physical carry, any hero that's physical. Harvest is every time you hit an enemy, a creep, a soldier, any of those things, it leeches or it harvests HP off them and puts it in your own pool. So if I took 100 damage from a hero, I would get 8 HP from that hero because I have 8% harvest. And I think so if you have 50% harvest, you're going to take 50% of what you hit with that person. The next one I want to go over is for mages. And mages is leech. So harvest is for physical. Now magic is for leech. So leeching items help when you do magical damage, you'll leech that HP off. So the higher your leech percentage is, the more you can leech. Next, of course, piercing damage, which is for both heroes. Okay, so you have items like the Leviathan Cloak. Okay, this pierces through the enemy's target defense by 20, so it decreases the target you're shooting at by 20 points. So it's going to increase your magical attack by 20. Now the next one I want to go over is cooldown, or CD. So a cooldown, what basically that does, and here is a good item under mages that does it. The Sapphire Amulet. Excuse me. Sorry. The Ring of Awakening. If you see, it has a negative 15% CD skill, which the CD skill reduces the time it takes for you to cast the skill again. So when you cast that skill, it does like 10 or some odd seconds. Well, it will reduce that skill's time by 15%. So if you have a 10-second skill, it will reduce it by at least 1.5 seconds, if that makes sense. The next I want to go over is the special and our passive abilities and active skills. So we'll do some fighter weapons for this. Now, if you notice the Arcane Cutlass, it has a passive skill, which a passive is a unique skill that allows the hero to activate that skill when something happens. So in this case, the Arcane Cutlass increases physical attack by 30 when the hero's HP is less than 35%. So these are individual and differ to the items, but if you just read them, they basically say what is meant to be said. So say my archer is at 30 HP out of 100, or my archer has 300 HP out of 1,000. It increases my attack points by 30%, by 30 points. So next is the active skills, and these are skills you have to activate in battle, or that skill will not be used. So, and the skill, I'll show you where it shows up. The skill shows up if you see this arrow right here, right next to your flag. So you have to activate the skill just like you have to drag your flag out. You just press it and you'll see a time come down on it. So the Reaper's Glove is the skill, you have to activate it. And when you activate it, it increases your attack speed by 15% and gives you an additional 15% damage. This also has a cooldown of a minute and lasts 10 seconds. Now, I hope this guide helps you. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. I don't know an easier way to explain it. But that is the in-depth of shop, the in-depth of all the items in shop and their attributes. So, thanks for watching, guys, and Destroyer out.